Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Pitch Pod. I'm your host, Jeff Stebbins. Join with me, as always, my trusty co-host, Joe Janner. Joe, how you doing this evening?
Jeff, I'm doing well as always. Happy to be part of the Pitch Pod. Looking forward to recapping quickly our last match of the week and looking forward to talking about USA versus Mexico upcoming this week.
USA v Mexico. That is what we are here for. But first, recapping very briefly Real Madrid v Chelsea in the Champions League matchup. So I don't get very many of these, Joe. So I got to point it out here. I did get a ring dinger.
Wow. Yes, exactly. You picked the correct winner and exact scoreline. Real Madrid going on to win 2-0. It is something to hang your hat on. I think it's worth mentioning. Again, those that are following, check it out. See what's happening here. Just picking the ring dingers. Spot on. 2-0. Yeah. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that's right. Predicted the win of that match 2-0. And it was a good game. Frank Lampard's back. I don't want to cover too much territory that we've already covered, but that game didn't go well for Frank Lampard. I guess Chelsea has a chance of redemption tomorrow night. So that'll be interesting as a second leg of the Champions League match for sure. But let's just go ahead and go straight to man of the match, Joe. Who stood out to you in that game as the most valuable player?
I think whenever you have a striker that's consistent and performing well and getting the goals in these important matches, and they score first to, a dominated Real Madrid side, but being able to be in a position to finish and again get that goal to go ahead early, set the tone. And Benzema, that's clearly, I think, who is best represented as the man of the match for that last match.
Yeah, I agree. Benzema, no, the goal wasn't super fancy. No, he didn't come away with a hat trick. However, he has that uncanny ability to just be at the right place at the right time. Those veteran moves that he makes, just the knowledge of where to be, what run to make, positioning. And so it was a really easy, just put back goal for him. But the consistency he has had as of late makes him my vote for man of the match as well.
So congratulations to Benzema. We'll see if he continues that form into the reverse fixture as you suggested upcoming. We'll see how they do. I think that the Real Madrid will still go on and do what they need to do to get through. I don't see. I mean, we said we weren't going to get too far into it, but I don't see Chelsea doing what they need to do to get through on this Champions League. I think they'll be done. I think they'll be exiting that tournament, and Real Madrid will be going on.
Absolutely. So going into this match, USA v Mexico, the friendly match. So Joe, what are some initial thoughts you have with this talented USA team led by Jordan Morris, Christian Roldan, going into this game against Team Mexico? What are some things that we should be looking out for?
I think you have a lot of players that are looking for the opportunity to showcase their talents to these newer managers and these coaches. I mean, they've been selected for a reason. They're available, one, and they're also, again, looking for some answers. It's not necessarily, I would say, call it a trial, but that is almost exactly what it is for some of these players to come out there and make an impression, show that they can perform within a system, show that they can, even in a short period of training, be able to implement that on match day. Right. So I think that's one of the bigger things. It's probably an objective for both sides, is looking to see if those that they selected to be a part of this roster can really perform at the level of their expectations. So that's what I'm probably looking for more than anything. A lot of the young players, players, I think mostly on the Mexican national team, that are going to have an opportunity to get their first cap for the Mexican side. So I think that's probably what I'm most excited about, to see how both these teams' players are going to perform under those circumstances of having that opportunity to show what they can do in a match. Given it's a friendly, given it's an exhibition, it still matters. I think that's what you're going to want to see too, that these teams are competing at the level where they show that they want to be a part of what each respective national team is doing.
Yeah, and Team USA is currently being led by their manager, Hudson. He's the interim manager who has replaced Berhalter due to some World Cup drama and some issues. following the World Cup. And so he's just a temporary replacement for now, but he seems to be doing a good job in this position. And I think that Team USA is going to be looking strong going into this, being led by those players we previously mentioned. Joe and I had the opportunity to talk with Jordan Morris, and firsthand we got to see how he approaches the game and what he looks for when he's on the field as far as opportunities and just his passion for being an attacker, being the person that can make the goals and score at will. So I'm feeling good about Team USA going into this, despite the fact that they have some new faces that are probably going to be starting this match and an interim manager.
Agreed. And on the flip side, I think that's very similar to what Mexican national team has to offer. Will be presenting as well. So really, to some extent, I think it's not going to be a question of talent. I think it's going to be really a big question about how well these managers can take the talent they have, how well they communicated their game plan, how well training's gone as far as working towards meeting their objectives, how well then again they'll perform and be able to implement those within this match that many eyes will be on. I mean, I think there'll be a lot of people both within the USA and Mexico and outside looking in to see what and how these players perform and how they, what the final score line is also important. But I think also their means to go about what they're supposed to be doing. Is there an identity within each squad? Are they playing within a certain system that lends itself to what we've seen from USA or what we've seen from Mexico up to this point? And then maybe need to mention, there is an upcoming competition that will have more merit and matter more, and this could be potentially another dress rehearsal for that. And again, players fitting into the system. So I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. And I assume a lot of the players on the Mexican national team are also members of the Liga MX clubs. I know a couple of my favorites are Cruz Azul, Club America, Chivas, which hopefully we'll get a chance to see this summer, hopefully. But can you speak a little bit to the quality of the Liga MX and the quality of players and the clubs and what they foster as far as talent in that organization?
Yes, within the league, within all those clubs that you mentioned, and all the others that will have representation within the selection, I think you're going to see players again, possibly more towards the younger side, are going to have a new opportunity to get out there and do it. But you're going to see a dynamicism and a means that they're going to go about this game. I think with an understanding of what this means, what this match means. I think that's probably been communicated on both sides, and probably especially Mexico, who having been in the World Cup and probably falling out a little bit sooner than they would. I mean, you can say that about the USA team as well, but I think Mexico's expectations are always higher. Not to make the round of 16 this last World Cup meant something to them, and it meant that they needed to do something different. So looking for a clean opportunity, a fresh slate, if you will, to go out there, take this talent that has the experience. It's a little bit going to be different since they're in a different phase of their season, respectively. Liga MX winding down more so than the MLS getting started. So I think that's going to play a factor into how these players go about their performance, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. As far as Team USA, I kind of mentioned the players I expect to see an impact from. Jordan Morris, maybe Jesus, but he kind of let me down in the World Cup. So we'll stick with Jordan Morris as the impact player. That's an attacker. And then as far as my impact player, that's a midfielder, Christian Roldan, also of the Seattle Sounders. I think those two are going to do great with one another and probably get the start. Are there any players on Team Mexico that you feel like could be in the mix and really having a strong contribution, if not even scoring a goal?
Again, I'm going to lean on the idea that I do believe that this Mexican side is going to be one that's going to be dependent on their ability to find the chemistry within themselves. Yes, they're on different clubs, different philosophies. They go through each week training, fierce competitors in most of those matches. So for them to be playing alongside each other, be really interested to find out and see how they're able to put that together. That some of that falls on the responsibility of the manager. How quickly in a short period of time can they bring the players together to develop that? And that's, again, kind of probably why I favor Mexican side over there. I do believe that they have a firmer understanding, a closer identity of what they're trying to achieve or would like to. And this, so I see that being a favorable component of what they'll bring to this match.
Yeah. Well, USA versus Mexico. It's always a fun match. It's a classic rivalry. Um, I can't wait, and I know we're both going to watch this, and we're both excited to see it. But Joe, why don't you go ahead and lead off with your prediction for this upcoming one?
Sure. I mean, I think I may have all but said it. I do believe that as maybe disappointed will be for U.S. men's national team supporters playing at home. I wouldn't be surprised if Mexico, again, with their desire and their drive, these players' ability to perform in these situations, to come up and win 2-1.
Okay, 2-1. Okay, wow. Um, it's I could see that happening. That would be huge for Mexico, as you said. That could be huge for their momentum. Yeah, absolutely. Um, I I'm gonna go in a different direction. Usually we're pretty aligned with the winner, and even our score predictions are usually fairly similar, not too far off. But on this one, I'm gonna go in the opposite direction. I think Team USA wins this game 1-0.
Okay, that's the case. I mean, how it goes about, I can see that it's probably going to be then, Jeff. If we're talking about 1-0, could it be a Jordan Morris late goal winner? How exciting would that be to see for U.S. men's national team in this particular match? I think if that's the type of game that we watch, it'll be exciting for everybody. Whether or not that's to happen, but we'll see.
I hope so. I hope so. I hope Jordan gets one. Well, we hope everyone gets an opportunity to sit down, enjoy this match. And if you like what we're doing, if you like the content, the best way to support us here at the Pitch Pod is please click that like and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. And thank you so much for tuning in. As always, keep pitching out there, everyone.
In a game, the round ball, round posts, anything can happen.